Oh, sorry. Countdown. That was the live countdown music that is given to us by StreamYard. Oh, look at that. We already got one. Holly. Hi, gang.
Heyo.
Hello.
So, if you're used to coming here for your Friday the 13th, F that. This isn't what this is. This is a live episode of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. Now, if you don't know what that is a subset that we do on Pint of Comics, which I'm John, and that's Lloyd down in the corner, and we are Pint of Comics. And then in the other corner, or next to Lloyd, Brady Bunch style, is Scary Larry, who is the Larry of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. And up in the other corner is Larry's buddy and our friend from Horror News Network. They're both staff writers, Sean McLaughlin, and Sean has been on our show, and we love Sean, and it's great to have him back. So, guys, let's do this. But let me explain to everybody first, in case they don't know what the Pint of Horrors is. So, on Pint of Horrors, Larry came up with a great list of 20 horror movies that were important to him for some reason or another. And what we do is we each roll a die. 4 of us roll a die, which corresponds to one of those movies. Then we put the vote out onto Twitter and YouTube or Facebook. You guys pick it, and we talk about the movie. So we've been doing this for a while now. We've got 9 episodes total recorded, about to do the 10th. And Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is on the original list. So I thought to myself, it might be a year before we get to that. It might be never. Who knows what happens with these dice rolls? It's Halloween week, right? Why don't we just do it live? Why don't we just do a show live right now? So
we'll just pick our own.
Fuck it.
Pick
Fuck
our
it.
own.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yeah, we're going to do it live. So if you are interested in checking out any of the other episodes, you can go to ConnecticutCultClassics.com, which is Larry's site. Go to, what is it? The Scary Larry's voting page, I think.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, and then at the bottom are the episodes which are out, which, if you're curious, Day of the Dead, Maniac, we did Prom Night, we did Motel Hell, we did Dead Alive, we did The Wicker Man, we did The Funhouse, and the last one that we put out was Wreck. And then the stuff is coming, and Shawnee Mack is going to join us for the 10th episode, which we'll be recording at some point soon, of the highly overrated 1982 PG horror movie Poltergeist. Yeah, I know. A lot of people hate me for that.
Highly overrated. You're a...
well, there's Stu from our Friday the 13th episodes. He finished Halloween
Stu.
5 in time for this to start. Good for you, Stu.
Hey,
Good for
John,
you,
did you read that list off a list or by memory?
Memory.
Wow.
Did you really?
Good.
Yeah.
That's fucking impressive, man.
Yeah, well, it's only like 9. I actually last week I wrote out all the Pint movie invitationals in order, and I got it right. And we've done like 27 of those. So sometimes, yeah, I can remember stupid shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can barely remember Rick.
All right, so we are here to talk about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And again, before we get too far into anything, I do want to point out that is the website where you can go check out Sean and Larry's writing, horrornewsnetwork.net, right there at the bottom. It is an awesome website. Those are some awesome people, Rob and Chris and the whole crew over there. And just daily things here and there. And one of the new writers has one of my favorite names of all time. It's Tom Tuna.
Tommy Tuna.
Tommy Tuna. I love it. I read his articles and I'm like, Tommy Tuna.
Nickname Charlie Tuna.
Charlie Tuna. So before we get into asking Larry, like we would normally do, why he chose this movie, the first thing I want to bring up about this movie is that if you've ever seen Halloween 3, it is widely known as the one without Michael Myers, right? It's an outlier.
Which is false.
It's the redheaded stepchild.
Well, it's false to the extent of he's in a scene in the movie So in this universe, Halloween is a movie in this universe.
He's the story in the story.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
So I'm going to ask each one of you, starting with Shawnee Mack, so what they did was, the idea was, after Halloween 2, John Carpenter and the folks that produced these decided, Deborah Hill, that they were going to start doing an anthology series. And they're going to leave Michael Myers. He's dead. He's got both eyes shot out. He's bleeding. Boom, exploded. Loomis 6 times. It's over, right? Mm-hmm. So they decide that they're going to now start doing a anthology series with the same title. So Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch, and it's about witchcraft and robots and little kids getting killed. And then Halloween 4 would have been whatever, and Halloween 5 whatever. And knowing how these things went back then, this could have gone on forever, or at least through the 80s until they got tired of it, and then a reboot, whatever. So I'm going to start with Sean. Knowing what we know, that Halloween 4 comes back with Michael Myers, and which is kind of, I guess they didn't make enough money, because this Halloween 3 made money, but it just didn't go crazy. So they said, we got to go back to Michael Myers. Knowing what we know with the 37 Halloween movies that follow this, that all follow Michael Myers in some way or another, would you have preferred for them to have stayed in the anthology mode, or would you have preferred that they went back to Michael Myers as they did?
That's a toughie.
No pressure, Sean.
Thanks, Larry. I wasn't a huge fan of the subsequent Michael Myers movies, I'll be honest. And sorry, Larry. But it's true. Like I
didn't write them. It's okay.
Yeah, but you love them, and I know I'm hurting you personally, and I apologize. Okay. But I thought the idea of doing that anthology, they were talking about one every year, just focusing around Halloween. I thought it would have been a good idea. It's just this one, like you said, didn't make enough money. And they're like, hey, everyone loves Michael Myers. Let's bring him back. So I thought it probably would have been a pretty good movie had they hung in there, or a pretty good idea to do that anthology type. So
you would have liked to have seen what they did?
I would have, because supposedly they had a couple ideas for the next 2 or 3 or whatever it was, which all went into the garbage when this movie made 14 mil.
Yeah. All right, Lloyd. Now I know you're not the guy who necessarily follows the Halloween movies through to the end. You're not like Die Hard, but would you have rather seen more movies like Season of the Witch? Depending on even if you didn't like Season of the Witch, would you have liked to seen that side of the story, or just right back to old William Shatner stabbing people to death?
Well, you're right, John. I'm not a huge follower of really any franchise. I'm not a big sequel guy, which I said numerous times. I've never even seen 4 or 5 until last year at the double feature. I've never seen anything after that. This was the first time I actually saw Season of the Witch ever. I would prefer probably more Season of the Witch, more anthology stuff. I like that.
That's hoity-toity. I added an extra Y at the end there. But all right. So, Larry.
Hi.
What's your opinion on that?
If I may opine, I do love me some Michael Myers. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, listen, 4 holds a special place in my heart because I was at an age where they brought back Michael Myers and I was stoked. They could have had him like beatboxing for 2 hours and I probably would have loved it just because it was fucking Michael Myers and I was at that age and I was psyched about it. But in retrospect, yeah, exactly. In retrospect, you really didn't need anything after part 2 when he, clearly died at the end.
He fucking exploded.
He was. There was some good fire going on there. He was crisp. But of course, him and Loomis survived anyway.
Wait, wasn't that Ben Tramer?
No, Ben Tramer burned up earlier, and still, I don't think anybody has fucking stood trial for that. But
no,
he had a nice scar, so
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Carpenter and Deborah Hill, get together on some more different type of Halloween-based films. I think it would have been really cool.
All right, I'm going to give my opinion. I think that Chris said the anthology idea would have worked better if they titled it differently. I kind of agree with that, but I kind of think you got to kind of keep that name, and because especially if they only did 2. If they only did 2 Michael Myers movies, and here we are 40 years later, the word Halloween probably wouldn't have that same connotation. You know, there could have been a movie somewhere in there that could have been 5 times better than part 1, which is crazy to think, but it could have happened, and maybe that would have been the one that people associate with. So I'm going to go with the anthology route because I'm a pretty firm believer. If you go over to SWO Productions, Stu, our friend here, he just rated all of the Halloween movies, and he did it terribly, by the way. But he also it also goes to prove how out of whatever there is 12, 13 of these things, there's literally only one great movie and then a couple of pretty good ones and then a bunch of like forgettable bullshit. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. What did Laura have to say? They should have continued with the anthology and sprinkled Michael Myers in there every few years. That's a good idea too.
Like this?
Yeah. Like Salt Bay. Yeah.
Sprinkled Michael.
Yeah.
Can you Photoshop little Michael Myers masks like going down?
You guys can work on that. That'd be awesome. All right. Yeah. So as we start every Pint of Horrors, Larry, tell us who was it? Your mom, your dad? Who got you into Season of the Witch? And going back to 1982, being a young horror fan, were you shocked that it was not Michael Myers?
I was shocked and appalled. So do you want the story? You want my story? Story? Okay. Here's the story. I will stick to it. Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 were my favorite movies when I was that age. I loved obviously Michael Myers, loved Halloween. Begged my father.
Were you this age? I'm sorry, this age?
Much younger than that. I was much younger.
Sean, can you get that off the wall by any chance and give it to us close up? This is Larry at about, 14.
16.
He looks 16. Like 16. He looks like he just knocked over an Extra Mart somewhere.
Yeah.
Got the Marlboro and everything.
That's right.
Little shitty little mustache. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that tonight. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
That's great. Yeah. If you have any more, just, bust them out at, different times throughout the night.
Hey, Mark.
So here we go. Okay. This came out, Halloween 3 came out, and I begged my father to take me to the movies to see it. Finally, he relented. It probably didn't take much begging. My father liked horror movies. So he took me to the theater on Madison Avenue in Bridgeport. I remember it very well. I sat there through the whole rookie stash, yes, through the whole film, waiting for Michael. And when the movie was over, I was literally inconsolable. I was a 9-year-old crying like a 3-year-old who had just skinned his knee outside the movie theater because Michael Myers wasn't in it. And I held that hatred. That's not a Bradley's Blazer, Christine.
Caldor.
Probably more than likely like Odd Lot or something.
Zare.
Yeah.
You guys.
I held that Halloween 3 hatred in me for years. I mean, years. I wanted nothing to do with Halloween 3. I said, fuck, I didn't want anything to do with it at all. It took some guy at a convention in the late 80s when I saw like a Halloween 3 merch that he had. And I was just like, oh, fuck that movie. And he's like, what do you mean? And I explained to him my story. And he's like, no, you need to rewatch that. Because I hadn't watched it since it made me cry in the theater. And he's like, you need to rewatch it and realize that as a separate film, apart from the Halloween franchise, it's actually really good. So I took this guy's advice and watched it and realized, you know what, the guy has a point. But to my tender 9-year-old mind, I couldn't hack it. I couldn't hack not having Michael Myers in part 3.
All right.
But so it took me years. It took me a long time to actually come to terms with it and enjoy it.
I caught most of that story. I fat thumbed myself out of the stream for a second.
Nice,
so, but I'm back. All right. So Larry's dad brings him to see it, and he learns to live with it. And apparently, it is a Zare Blazer. If you remember Zare, you probably also remember Ames. After this is over, we made fun of him. Go to swoproductions.com and you could read Stu's terrible list of what he thought was right on those the rankings. And DP always liked part 3. So let's get into a little bit of the nuts and bolts about part 3. We'll get into the cast in a second. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. which shares its subtitle with the second. Is it the second George Romero film?
Yep.
All right. Directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. He was the production designer, editor, and a second unit director on the original Halloween and The Fog. So this is obviously a John Carpenter dude. He was actually offered Halloween 2, and he said no because he didn't like the script.
Let's also not forget that he was Michael Myers in the closet scene.
Yeah, how many people played Michael Myers in the first fucking movie? I never knew that until
maybe 4. Nick
why?
Castle,
Like
Tommy Lee Wallace, what's his name? Tony Moran.
Yeah.
And there's a 4th. There's another guy who Atkins didn't play him, and which would have been great. If Atkins had played Michael Myers with no mask, sold.
Yeah.
Michael Myers would still be going strong.
Or the scenes where Michael Myers is Atkins, the mask has a mustache on it. Yeah. And it's smoking a Marlboro and it's drinking something and it's slapping a woman's ass.
Getting lots of chicks, getting all the chicks. So yeah, I think 4 people played Myers in the first one.
Yeah, that's so weird. Sean, do you find that weird that we have a silent character wearing a mask and we need 4 people at different points to play him?
It was the 70s. Things were
so Nick Castle played him throughout the majority of the movie, right? When they hooked up this scene for the closet scene, they had rigged. Tommy Lee Wallace is the one who rigged the closet, so he felt that they only had one take at it, and he was the only one who was going to be able to get the shot without having to rebuild it. So he said, "Just give me the fucking mask, and I'll do it." And then they needed somebody younger looking than Nick Castle for the part where they tear his mask off. So that's why they got Tony Moran. And then I think it was a stunt guy who backed and fell off the porch after Loomis shot him 6 times.
Wow. 6 times. That's right.
6 times.
Patrick says probably because it was a shoestring indie and whoever was around that day put on the mask. That's probably true. Yeah, I know a
potty break.
Tommy Lee Wallace is the guy who actually purchased the Shatner mask and painted it white. And I saw him redo what's the guy's name? You guys probably know Sean Clark. He has a YouTube channel, Malfunction, and he does a bunch of he's Horror's Hallowed Grounds, where he goes to different locations. He had Tommy Lee Wallace on, and they had a Shatner mask from the 70s, and he did it exactly as he did it. And it literally, he said, this literally took me like 18 minutes to do. People think that it was like he cut some of the hair. Yeah, and then he just prepped
in the eyes a little bit.
Yeah, opened the eyes up and then just spray painted it and said, "There you go." That's all it was. Probably the most iconic mask, or one of the in horror. So Tommy Lee Wallace also directed the It miniseries from the early 90s, Fright Night Part 2, and he did at least one episode of Baywatch. So he did an episode of Baywatch. Sean, big Baywatch fan in the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, Pam Anderson, Yasmin Bleeth was when they started losing me.
Yeah. I get it. Yasmin Bleeth too. Isn't she like a meth addict now? One of them hit it really hard. Like, I think it's her. That's a shame. That's too bad.
It happens.
The original person, I think it was probably Patrick who mentioned it earlier. The original person that was attached to direct this was Joe Dante of Gremlins 2, The Howling, all that stuff. He was attached to direct it when the original script was turned in. The original script was written by a British author named Nigel Neal. He has the world's anybody, can you guys put up a better British name than Nigel Neal? Anybody have that? Lloyd, like, I don't know. Nigel. Carruthers Withingthorpe maybe would work.
Yeah, Winthorpe works pretty good.
Winthorpe.
Yeah. Your Winthorpe stays on my mind.
Yeah.
So this guy, he wrote a novel series called the Quartermass series, very serious science fiction writer. He writes the script, and Patrick knows. Look at Patrick's read Nigel Neal. And he hands in the script, and then they decide that it's going to be a little bit more horror centric and a little bit more killing kids centric. And he actually wants his name off the thing. And his name is not on the movie, I believe. It's gone. No. Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter take a pass on it. Tommy Lee Wallace gets the final script credit. So he's also technically the writer of Halloween 3. And this came out on October 22nd, 1982, and it was made for 2.5 million. And Sean mentioned 14.5 million this thing made. So
hey, that's a win.
Yeah, that's at 12 million.
That's a huge win. Yeah,
that's a huge win. If that was today and this was like a Blumhouse picture, we would have Halloween 4, about, I don't know,
next week.
Whatever. Yeah, it'd be next week. Absolutely.
It would pick up with the fucking Atkins saving people with the masks, ripping the masks off little kids or something. Yeah.
So let's get into the cast real quick, Lloyd. Let's talk about who's in this movie and what do we know them from?
Well, you got Tom Atkins as the ladies' man, Dr. Daniel Chalice. I'll be honest. When I first watched this movie, the first time, maybe the day before, I fell asleep a little bit. Surprise.
No.
I missed the line where he said, I'm calling my ex-wife. So throughout the whole movie, I thought this guy was just an adultering scumbag. Well, watching it the second time, I picked up that line, and it totally changed my opinion of him.
Oh, he acted like one throughout the movie.
Yeah. Oh, this guy, whether or not he may save the world at the end or doesn't or tries really hard, he's not a good guy. I mean,
No.
Yeah.
No. Alcoholic doctors usually aren't fucking.
No.
Alcoholic doctors that just leave the hospital to go on some trip with a girl they just met.
Yeah. I don't know the name of
die on him.
The hotel.
Right.
Whoops.
But Tom Atkins was already kind of well known. Tons and tons of TV, Rockford Files, Beretta, but then of course The Fog, where he, used his powers on Jamie Lee Curtis, Escape from New York,
Creep Show.
Creep Show. That's right. He had to slap Stephen King's son in Creep Show.
Night of the Creeps.
I think that was later.
That was next. Yeah, that was a couple years later.
That was after. Yep.
With the iconic line of "Thrill me."
Yeah,
Thrill me. That's right.
Yeah.
Thrill me.
Who else we got there, Lloyd?
And you got Stacy Nelkin as Ellie Gimbridge, basically a late 70s and 80s actress. She had that whole Woody Allen thing going too. With
yeah, that's right. She was one of the ones 16. That. Yeah.
She claims that Manhattan, the movie, was basically about her, although there's actually a couple of young actresses he had relationships with. I remember her. Do you remember the movie California Dreaming?
No,
I remember the song by the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
Well, that was a movie that sticks out in my mind because Glynis O'Connor was in it, and I just remember boobies.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Good thing to remember.
Yeah, you never forget that.
No.
Solid memory.
Titties are. And here's an interesting fact about Stacy Nelkin, and we get to it later on, but obviously there's a robot element in this one. In Blade Runner, there is a complete subplot cut out. Lloyd, you know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it up. Go for it.
No, go ahead. You're doing it.
All right. Well, so there's a whole subplot in Blade Runner where when M. Emmett Walsh's character tells Rick Deckard, played by Harrison Ford, who's going to be going after the replicants, he says the wrong number of replicants. He says, I think in the movie there's 4. There's Pris, Zora, and Batty and Leon. He says 5. It's not a mistake in the movie. Stacy Nelkin played a replicant that they cut completely out of the movie. She's got scenes. I don't know if there's a scene where he gets to her or not, but they just cut her out and they never remembered to change the line to 4 instead of 5.
She was number 6.
Oh, okay. So it was 6, and there are 5 in the movie. I couldn't remember off the top of my head how many there were.
Plus, she also, I think, read for the Pris character, but obviously that went to Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Huh. Look at that. What do you know?
Yep.
What do you know? Yeah, I don't think I know her from anything other than that. I don't know if she still works or anything.
And another really, I guess, awkward point to all of this is her first day filming with Tom Atkins was their sex scene. So the very first interaction that she had with him is him sucking on her boobie, which
you're right to there.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? I'm Tom. I'm Stacy.
Oh wait, then they had to go back and film those scenes where he's staring at her across the room like a creep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You motorboating son of a bitch, you. Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go out in the car? I can sleep out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that whole scene. Well, we'll get into that. Who's next on the list?
We got. I wish I could do an accent. Dan O'Hurley as Conal
That's
Cochran.
terrible. That was a
No,
terrible
it
Irish
wasn't
accent.
even an attempt. Owner of the Silver Shamrock Mass Company, possibly a druid.
Maybe
Maybe
owner of a hunk of Stonehenge.
right.
That sounds
It's
like
as plausible as any other plot in that movie.
that
Right.
sounds like a single from an Iron Maiden album in 1986. Possibly a druid.
You know him as Old Man from RoboCop.
Yeah.
To revitalize the what was it, New Detroit?
Yeah, OCP. One of my favorite whole scenes in RoboCop 1 is when RoboCop can't shoot Dick and the Prime Directive is locking him out and the old man goes, "Dick, you're fired."
He was in Twin Peaks, in The Last Starfighter, which was directed by Nick Castle.
Castle.
Oh,
That's right.
haven't seen that in years.
He was Grigg. He was the Alex's fucking pilot. And
okay.
he was the guy in the fucking makeup.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. My wife, who wasn't watching this as I watched it and did her usual thing, says to me at one point during this, when she keeps hearing them talking about the character, she says, "Is his last name Cockring?" So and that was like early in the movie. So for the rest of the movie, every time they said Conal Cochran, all I heard was Conal Cockring.
Which is fine. Fine. If that's his name, that's fine. Sean has turned into a
Sean became one of these.
Really, that's weird. It looks good on him. It's a good look. Who else we got, Lloyd?
Next, you have Michael Curry as Rafferty. He's the guy at the gas station in the motel. I guess he's just one of the town guys. He's a henchman, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He's involved in a lot of Clint Eastwood movies.
Good for him.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't really know much about him other than that.
Yeah.
Then you got Ralph Straight as Buddy Kupfer. He's the guy that almost, runs him over with the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Goes on the tour.
Fuck that guy and his whole family.
Yeah.
Seriously.
What that whole scene where Dr. Daniel Chalice is trying to go to the office to find out if Ellie's father stayed at the Rochambeau Motel. He almost gets hit.
What is it called? The Rochambeau Motel?
The Rose of Shannon? Was it the Rose of Shannon?
Okay, all right.
By the way,
yeah.
Laura gives us a Cockring is a good surname for a druid, and it sounds about right to me. But he encounters so much danger in that 5 feet between like getting back to he almost gets hit with a bicycle, and then he almost gets hit by a car, and then
Large Marge.
Yeah, Large Marge comes out and almost knocks him the fuck over. A lot of stuff going on. Sean was back, and now is back to being a circle again.
Yeah.
You might remember Ralph from the Beastmaster.
Who was he in the Beastmaster?
I
yes. Now that you say that, I remember.
Yeah,
I do remember him. Yeah, he was like a traveler, and I remember him. Okay,
I know that's a favorite of John's.
I love the Beastmaster. Did you guys get the new one that Vinegar Syndrome was putting out?
No, I'm not. Beastmaster is good, but I was never one of those people that was like, gotta have me some Beastmaster. I'm not.
Yeah,
no.
Well, I was playing at your house one day. We did a podcast.
Yeah, it was on Plex, and I was like, hey, let's check this out.
Yeah.
Yep. Who else we got?
Garn Stevens as Large Marge Gutman. Basically, she's a lady who got her face zapped in the hotel.
Hilarious.
Yeah. She was on the Phyllis TV show, if any of you remember that.
She was, do you know who she was married to at the time of filming?
I do. Lloyd?
I don't remember.
Tom Atkins?
She has been Atkins.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how he introduced himself. Just whipped it out and started sucking on it.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Well, that's the only way.
Stu's very concerned. Stu's very concerned that we're missing Sean.
We're getting Sean back right now. I think he's here.
Oh,
Here he comes. Wait, did I get? Okay, no, that's Sean. No, he's gone again. I don't know what's going on with Sean. All right.
Sean
Well,
gone again.
3 left for now, but Sean's welcome to come back at any point. All right. Who else do we have cast wise? And we'll get into this thing.
Larry, you might have to correct my pronunciation. Nancy Caius?
Just Keys.
Okay.
Keys.
Yep.
As Linda Shellis, the good doctor's ex-wife, you would know her as Annie Brackett from Halloween.
That's right. And also as Tommy Lee Wallace's wife.
At the time. Yeah.
Yep.
A couple more here. Jonathan Terry is.
This is a good one. The only woman he didn't bang or hit on in the movie was his actual wife.
Yeah,
Nice
because
one,
the director would have fucking fired him.
Yeah, and let's just bring this up real quick. I get it, right? I get that Tom Atkins' character is a womanizing alcoholic. He's just not a good dude. But how much of it was drawn from fucking his wife's attitude? Holy shit, she is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Like,
he brings home the masks and she's like, "Nice try, asshole. I already got a mask."
Those kids were so disappointed in those masks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even try to hide it. Like, we love Daddy. We love Daddy.
Like,
give it a good look. They're like, no, we already got silver shamrock, motherfucker. Mommy got us they're gonna microwave our fucking heads.
Right. Mommy got us Don Post masks. So
yeah, these are Don Post. I'm gonna have a boa constrictor coming out of my eyeballs on Halloween. What does this fucking thing do?
And you can't stop it. You wear your dumb plastic mask. I'm gonna be covered with fucking bugs. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Holly mentioned Jamie Lee Curtis. Anybody know who she was?
Well, here's the thing, right? So I don't know if Lloyd knows the answer or not, but I've read 2 varying accounts, right? Number 1, she's the operator. Some people say she's the operator on the phone, but then I also read she's not the operator on the phone.
She's not.
She is the voice of the curfew.
Yep.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Get inside. Colonel Cockring.
Grab your cat and go inside.
Yeah.
Colonel Cockring is coming.
Well, I read that she was the operator as well, but
yeah, that was
information. All right, I got a couple more here.
All
right. Jonathan Terry as Starker. He's this down on the luck guy who basically hates cock rings. He's a guy who shared a drink.
That guy did hate. Yeah, that guy did hate cock rings.
He did.
You will know him as Colonel Glover from Return of the Living Dead. The guy who puts the hit on the town.
Oh, that's him?
That's him.
That's the lamb chop guy, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy. It's one of my favorite lines in Return of the Living Dead is he comes home and his wife is like, dinner's ready. It's lamb chops. And he says, I had that for lunch. Who the fuck eats lamb chops for lunch?
Right.
Unless your name is fucking, what's the guy from Gilligan's Island? From Gilligan's Island.
Mr. Howell.
Yeah. Thurston Howell the third eats lamb chops for lunch. The rest of those motherfuckers are eating grilled cheese.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Who was another Michael Myers? I don't think we mentioned. Dick Warlock.
Yes.
He played the one of the assassin androids. I guess is he the guy that pinched the guy's fucking nose off?
No.
Or is he a different guy?
He's the shorter, older one with the gray hair.
Okay.
Yep.
That guy.
That's Dick Warlock. He was Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
Yep.
He was also stunt coordinator in Friday the 13th Part 5. And he was basically Kurt Russell's fucking lifelong stuntman, and stunt coordinator. Dick Warlock did win the name lottery.
He did.
I wonder if that's his real name. And thank you, Holly. I appreciate the blouse comment. But Dick Warlock is a pretty solid name. I wonder if that's his real name.
It is a good name. And the fact that he could have gone with Richard Warlock probably, or Rick Warlock, and decided to go. When you have a last name as fucking badass as Warlock,
and Ricky,
you can go with Dick. You can go with Dick. Yeah.
It actually enhances the Warlock. Like the fact that it's preceded by Dick.
Yeah.
It does.
Right?
I got a question for you
I'm
guys.
not just Warlock, I'm a Dick Warlock.
I got a question for you guys. So the title of this movie, to me, implies that Colonel Cochran is a witch.
Can we just call him Cochran?
Cochran. Colonel Cochran is a witch. But I don't know a ton of witchcraft lore. Aren't male witches warlocks. So shouldn't this be Season of the Warlock?
I sort of made that connection myself.
Shouldn't it be
Okay.
Season of the Druid? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a druid more than a witch.
Dick Warlock's cousin is Peter Sorcerer. All right, I'm gonna call it. Hopefully he joins back up, but Shawnee Mack has disappeared. I hope all is well. I hope he didn't go for the big Halloween 3 giveaway and put on his silver shamrock mask and is in trouble right now. But if he joins back up, just get right back on again.
Yep.
So Dick Warlock is my porn name. All right, so was that everything for the cast there?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about this film. Where do we start in this thing, Larry? How does this thing start off?
We start basically with Dustin Hoffman and the Marathon Man. Homeboy's just running down the highway, scooting down the highway. But whereas Dustin was running from, a Nazi that was trying to drill his teeth, this guy is running from Dick Warlock and a bunch of, we don't know at this time that they're robots or androids, but I guess he's an owner of a toy store, and he has just left the town running with his mask. He's got a pumpkin mask, and he tries to hide where? In a junkyard first?
Yeah.
Guy starts to choke him. And he is able to pull the shock out of the tire, which is
conveniently had a chain right there.
Pretty swift maneuver.
Yeah.
They weren't even on that steep of an incline for that car to move like
car
that.
Wouldn't move. Nobody would have even shocked the wheel at that. Yeah. It was on a flat ground.
It would have taken a half hour to get there.
That
Nobody
car,
shocked the wheel.
He pulls that shock out, and that car acts like it goes 0 to 60. It's like boom.
Yeah. That car. The angle they were on. He could have actually pushed that car backward. Like if it had come to him, he could have just pushed it. Or just stopped it with his bare hand. But anyway, he gets kind of not even squished. Like nothing really happens to him. But this guy's able to climb out and run to the gas station for help from Otis, or the cook from Friday the 13th Part 5. It's not really him, but it's who he reminded me of.
I read today that actor, I don't know why, maybe because maybe they just had to watch out for budget, but later in the movie when Tom Atkins is at the bar watching the baseball game or the football game, that actor is the announcer on the football game as well. I don't know. He was probably just there to get a check, and they're like, we're doing some voiceover. Do you want to do this real quick? Like, yeah, no problem.
And can you play Michael too?
Tommy Lee Wallace did the voice of the fucking commercial. That's him doing the Halloween.
I kind of get that. That's like a kind of a cool piece of trivia. But the other part is like, why do they do that?
Right.
Jamie Curtis did the voices too for the commercial. She did a couple of the voices in the movie.
You missed that when you were on your bathroom break or wherever the fuck you went, Sean.
You stole my piece of trivia. Damn it.
Sorry.
I think the picture of 16. I think the picture of 16-year-old Larry is messing up Sean's side of the stream. I don't know. It could be that.
There's definitely interference somewhere. Yeah.
It's that pack of Marlboro I'm holding in my hand.
Yeah. That's power of the Reds.
That's like $20 nowadays.
Yeah, that's why I quit. I quit when they went up like fucking crazy. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, but didn't you have enough like marble points to get a canoe or some stupid shit?
I had enough Marlboro miles to get a fucking house. I could have gotten a Marlboro cabin in the fucking Marlboro woods in Marlboro, Massachusetts.
How many
I've been there.
How many people who smoke enough to get enough points to get a canoe could use a canoe?
Right. Like, yeah. That was the best. That was the best thing about Marlboro Miles is if you looked at the catalog, all this shit was like not exercise equipment, but like outdoorsy type stuff.
Right.
Like fucking those things that you use to rock climb, like the fucking thing.
Carabiners, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
the canoe was basically a coffin at that point.
Yeah. Nobody who smokes 3 packs a day is rock climbing. It's just not fucking happening.
All right.
I digress.
So he ends up getting brought to the hospital, right? And I have a question I'm going to ask Sean because Sean missed out a little bit. Between this and Halloween 2, Sean, now Halloween 2 takes place in Illinois. This takes place in Northern California. What the fuck is wrong with the hospitals in the Halloween universe? Like what's going on with these hospitals?
Wait, do I have to clear my answer with Larry first since apparently I missed a bunch and
No, we haven't
efforts here?
talked about this.
All right. That is a great question. I wish I knew. All I know is they better tighten up their standards there, the AMA, because it's a disgrace.
There's nobody in these hospitals. Like,
not to mention, the doctor in both these were fucking drunk.
Yeah.
Remember the doctor that they called in to sew up Laurie Strode's arm was fucking drunk. She's like, oh my God, the doctor's drunk. And same with Tom Atkins, fucking drunk. This fucking Halloween movies, doctors are just not good.
Hey, they're a house before house. They're trendsetters.
House before house. I don't know what's going on in this series of movies. These hospitals are severely understaffed. Although, look, a robot walks through the halls and murders a dude, and he could have gotten away with it. He totally could have gotten away with it if that one lady, if the one nurse didn't walk into the room at that point.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I think he did get away with it.
Well, he gets away with it, and well, I mean, no matter what, he's a robot. He's gonna get away with it. Yeah, he totally. So, we're talking a horror movie. We're talking gore. What did you think, Lloyd, about the actual murder? Because I got to tell you, this movie doesn't have a ton of gore. This was fucking hardcore.
Yeah, he gets right in there with he's warming up his pincher fingers. He gets right in there. He pinches. I think he's digging right deep, right into the eye socket. He fucking lifts that thing up. It was gruesome.
Yeah.
Totally gruesome. Oh, and he put on his gloves before this.
He did.
Robots need to wear leather gloves to kill.
Clearly, especially ones druids, like druid robots.
But what I have a question of, I didn't see any blood at all on the man's face. Yeah, he wiped a shitload of blood off on that curtain.
What? And why did he wipe the blood on the curtain? And why do they focus on him doing that for like a solid 45 seconds? That scene is so long.
There you go.
In case you didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we get the nose crack and the break, and the nurse, who is an elderly nurse, kind of probably in her 60s. Tom Atkins had pretty much given her the go, slapped her on the ass, told her that he would love to, essentially love to be a part of that. Yep. This is after, we've established he's a drunk. Yeah. His kids and his wife ex-wife don't even like him. This is the first of many women that he I guess denigrates throughout this movie. So he, in a very drunken stupor, waking up from a nap, chases the robot out to his car. But I'm not going to use the word chase. It's not really much of a chase. It's just kind of like the robot walking briskly, and then Tom Atkins just going, "Stop. Hey, you, stop." Gets out to the car. He dumps a gallon of gasoline on himself and sets himself on fire. Right now, what I want to skip ahead a little bit, but how long does it take these CSI people to figure out there was no human remains in the fucking thing?
It's obviously
1982. It obviously takes a week.
Yeah, because that's what they were doing an autopsy, right? That's the coroner had that body, which I think we need to bring up the fact that this is one of the very few horror films with a coroner not eating a sandwich.
No,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Let's go down the list. She's not a schlub. She's not eating a sandwich. Right. She's actually kind of cute. Mm-hmm. And I think Patrick mentioned this earlier, on top of Tom Atkins trying to juggle the elderly black nurse, the possibly underage grieving young girl, he's also essentially either already banged or trying to get back into the pants of the coroner as well. This guy,
Teddy? I think her name's Teddy.
Yeah. What do you call that, Sean? What do you call 3 goals in a hockey game again? It's the
hat trick.
Hat trick. He's going for the hat trick in this movie, right? And the total absence of human bone and flesh and the presence of 56 pounds of charred gears and sprockets seems wrong somehow. It is and it takes them a fucking week to figure it out. This is why the show CSI didn't come out till 2000. Because if it came out in 1983, the episodes would take 7 full episodes to solve the simplest case ever, because they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it.
They just can't identify plastic.
Yeah, gears, plastic, the whole 9 yards. So, all right. So at this point, we meet the Ellie Gimbridge character, who is the daughter of the gentleman who had his nose ripped apart by the android. We don't know it's an android yet, by the way.
Bridge of his nose.
Yeah, bridge of his nose cracked right in half. And all of a sudden, Sean, what happens at this point? Out of nowhere, we get this unusual kind of like detective duo of Tom Atkins, Dr. Daniel Chalice, and her getting together to solve the case of the father. Like, do you buy that? Do you buy that this girl wants to hang out with this guy?
No. Well, first it took 2 separate scenes of him staring at her creepily from across the room while she's trying to say, "Hey, my father's dead. I can't believe it." I mean, the look in his eyes it was just very creepy. And yeah, I would see why she'd be attracted to him. Why she would seek him out at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, 20 minutes later.
Yeah. So, little known fact, the bar scene that Sean's talking about, the original title of this movie, there was 2 original titles before Season of the Witch. The first of the original titles was Halloween 3, Cartoons Confused Tom Atkins. All right.
He was so upset. He was so angry.
He's watching a cartoon of like a cactus and he's drinking a shot. He's smoking a cigarette. It's like 9 on a Saturday morning because they've already established it's Saturday morning. They're showing you this starts on the 23rd and rides up to Halloween. So this is the Saturday. This is the day that they decided to start, sleuthing. She meets him in this bar that I can only tell you looks like the bar next to the Strand in Seymour, which the scary part is that every bar looked like that in 1982. I'm talking about like 2 years ago. Yeah. That bar still looked like this, but he's watching a cartoon and he's got this puzzled look on his face. The other original title of this movie, and I've heard people say like every time he kind of gets a little inappropriate with women in this, you do a shot. I've heard that before, kind of as a joking drinking game. If you had to do a shot every time Tom Atkins makes a phone call in this movie, you'd fucking die. You would die. This movie should have been called Halloween 3, Dr. Daniel Chalice is on the fucking phone again. Yeah. How many times is he calling someone in this movie? His ex-wife, 8 times. The operator, 76 times. The end of the movie ends with him on the fucking phone.
Yeah, my favorite part is when he's on the payphone with the 6-pack of Miller Lite on the next payphone, and he's talking to his ex-wife, I guess his ex-wife, and says, hey, don't worry, I'll be home. I'll be back to take the kids trick-or-treating. And then he goes, I'll call you on Monday. We've clearly established that Halloween's on Sunday. How are you? You're going to call her on Monday, right, but you're going to take the kids trick-or-treating on Sunday? This doesn't make any sense. You're a fucking poor liar and a real piece of shit, Tom Atkins.
He also called from that room where he was like running away. Later on in the movie, there's a random phone in the room where he's hiding out in.
No, he's obsessed with phones.
And he picks up the phone and calls his wife there.
Laura just put up, I have the movie on in the background, and I can confirm he is on the phone. Like, it's not hard. I think if you actually watched this and timed it out, I bet you he's on the phone every 7 minutes in this movie.
Hey, we also know if you're in a glass phone booth, if you duck down when a car's going by, they can't see you.
Yeah.
That was established pretty early as well.
Yes. Yeah. So they head up to Santa Mira, California. And I'll ask Lloyd to see if he knows. Do you know what the connection between Santa Mira in this movie and in another famous horror movie is?
I don't.
Larry?
I feel like it
was the town in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes. So Tommy Lee Wallace is a huge fan of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and he decided to name the town the same thing. Imagine Dan Chalice in the era of cell phones on airplanes. He'd be the worst, and that is true. He would be
airplanes,
be the worst.
Movie theaters, like
he would talk on speakerphone in public.
People in line, like who are like supposed to be ordering their food, but instead they're on their fucking cell phone.
Yeah,
I get that at work a lot. At work, I'll have people come in to where I work, and they'll be like literally 190 feet away from me. And they're on their cell phone and they're talking so loudly. And then I try to picture when I'm on a phone Can someone from 190 feet away hear me? And I'm pretty sure I do it right. I'm pretty sure they can't. I'm pretty sure I can just be like, hey, what's going on? All right, cool. All right, I'll see you there. You know, like, but these guys are like, I don't know. I cell phones, the absolute fucking worst.
Yep.
The absolute worst. So we head up to Santa Mira, Lloyd, and what is this town like? Give me an overall idea of what's going on in Santa Mira.
This is like an industrial town where everybody serves basically this toy factory. I guess what do they just do masks now?
They did. What do they say?
Like a joke company.
Joke company. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Cochran was the original.
What was it,
right?
man? Lloyd?
Cock ring.
Cock ring.
It's cock ring.
Was he the inventor of the sticky toilet paper prank?
Yes.
Yeah. You know about that sticky
I
toilet
got
paper?
hit by that one so many times.
Yeah. If anybody gave me sticky toilet paper, I'd punch their fucking face right off. That's what would happen.
But yeah, everybody pretty much serves that. It's kind of like a ghost town full of druid robots.
But like really weird people, like as they're pulling in, like everybody's like fucking peeking at them.
Yep.
You know, it's very strange. Or like, are they scared to be in that town, or are they, you know, scared that there's new people in town? Like, you don't kind of really know. Right
doesn't
away.
like it there. That Starker fella.
Right. But he seems to be the only one openly besmirching Cochran.
Besmirch.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't besmirch the cock ring. That's for sure.
Right. Large Marge is pissed off.
Large Marge is so the whole crew we meet. Sean, do you want to run through the crew that we meet at the Rose of Shannon Motel? The two other, the family and Marge, who we're gonna stay in the hotel as well. Who do we have here?
So we got a family. I forgot their names, but you got the big loud, funny dad who's owns one of the shops there. Their biggest client.
Mm-hmm.
His family, his wife and his young son, who they're entering a bicycle tossing championship, and they're practicing in that town. And then the other is Marge, and she's in San Francisco. Her shop's in San Francisco. They messed up her order, so she's driving. She's closing her shop up for several days, driving up or down the coast to the factory just to say, "Hey, you messed up my order." So she's
seems like a solid business move.
Yeah, absolutely. Great business owner, and good luck to her store.
They hadn't even invented Telegram yet.
Right. Well, nobody else can fucking use the phone. Tom Atkins is fucking always on it, so
That's right.
she can't call anybody. So she has to drive all the way down to Santa Mira.
Yeah. So she's angry. She's got to be there. Buddy Cupford. Now, I want to ask you guys about this too. Did you guys get the feeling that we were supposed to believe that Buddy Cupford's wife was like a trophy wife?
No.
She's always dressing herself up and everything.
You can't wear a fucking baby blue tracksuit and be a trophy wife. It just doesn't. No, I don't think that was at all.
He definitely outkicked his coverage with her, but he also is obviously has a lot of money because he sells the most masks in the country. So
yeah,
he pictures himself that way.
Yeah. Laura brings up also immediately telling a stranger her full name and where to find her. She does. She's like, if you're ever in San Francisco, you come right to my store and I'm going to hook you up with a silver shamrock mask. I don't know what the fuck she sells.
I don't know. What is she going to give her? A little sweet poontang? I don't know what she's.
Are you suggesting Are you suggesting there's a Pornhub channel for that?
There could be, there was undertones. I felt there was undertones. I also felt Dick Warlock might have been pregnant.
Oh, Stu, we're making fun of Stu.
Sorry. For those of you who don't know, that's for Stu.
Yeah, for our Stu thinks that on every one of our Friday the 13th episodes that somebody in the Friday the 13th films is pregnant. And he has yet to be able to prove it so far. Yes, the Cochran guy is supposed to be some great inventor. I've got a question about how great he is.
Yep.
So, and by the way, Chris, get it right next time. Cock ring. So this guy can create the sticky toilet paper. He creates the masks with bits of Stonehenge in them that are going to kill you. He does some really great work. He could even make a robot that sneezes for no fucking reason whatsoever, but his robots can't talk. He hasn't broken the talking box yet. I mean, Sean, do you think if you saw this movie in 1982 in the theaters, from the second that we get Ellie back at the end, and she doesn't talk for a solid 15 minutes, would you have immediately been on? And you're a smart guy. You watch a lot of horror stuff. Would you not have immediately been? Because I've seen the movie before, but watching it again, I'm like, man, this is so telegraphed that she's a fucking robot at this point. Do you think you would have felt that way?
I mean, me now or me in '82 when I was 5?
Let's say now. Let's say now. If this movie came out tomorrow,
it was rather obvious. Sure, that she wasn't saying a word. She just was kind of staring at him blankly,
like totally blankly. Like I know he doesn't care because he gets to fuck her, but
he can't wait to get out of there with her. Like,
yeah. He's like, I don't give a fuck about all these kids. I want to get you back to the Rosa Shannon and finish off what I was doing on you earlier today. My wife did bring this up too. So they get into the hotel, and he makes look, as guys, I'm sure at some point in our younger lives we've all like kind of tried to position ourselves in the right way with a lady, and he goes right for the, you want me to sleep in the car? And, and as opposed to what you hear sometimes, like, oh, yeah, sure. She's like, well, where would you like to sleep? Like this, I'll give Stu credit because Stu makes me think about this stuff more and more. You could tell this is written by a man because this is like male fantasy right here. Well, where would you like to sleep, Dr. Chalice? And he's like, you fucking know.
It's like,
and you're like, oh,
that's a stupid question. That was his answer. That's a stupid question. Yeah. There's no way. What was she like? Fucking 18, 19?
Well, here's the thing. So they have a kiss.
Older than she looks, Larry.
They have a kiss, right? And we'll get around to it. They have a kiss. He goes out. He deals with that drunk who starts disparaging Cockring. Because the first. Oh, go ahead. Time out. What do you got?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because it just reminded me of something. So before that. Before he has to deal with the drunk, before he even gets the booze, Jamie Lee Curtis comes on the fucking loudspeaker and says, curfew, everything's closed, go the fuck home, take the cats inside. 5 minutes later, completely dark outside, Atkins wanders outside and finds an open liquor store.
Yeah.
Yep. Why isn't Cockring shutting that down? Cockring should be shutting that shit down. Like
maybe it was a trap. Maybe they're trying to get him to a liquor store. Maybe they know that he's. I don't know. Maybe they know he's a drunk. Maybe they're trying. You're right. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Well, this is probably it. As much as I like this movie, there's a good portion that doesn't really. Can we all agree that there's a good portion of this that doesn't really make sense?
Look, let's get right down to it. Let's get right.
Sean, it's only an hour 33. Come on.
I'm sensing Sean's rating might not be good. Let's get right down to it before we get back to the sex scene, because I want to talk about that. We haven't talked about it, but the whole idea of this movie is that we keep getting the Silver Shamrock commercials, which are leading us to 5 more days to look. And you know how people always say, like, I was 40 whatever when I learned this. Yeah. I honestly never realized until this viewing that that's London Bridges. I never put it together. I swear to God. I know. I feel dumb. So in any case, we keep seeing the commercials, the big Halloween 3 giveaway, be there, 9:00, blah, blah, blah. We're getting to the point where all the kids are going to wear their masks in front of the TV, and the Cockring's evil plan is that he is going to, fucking murder all the kids in the world, right? He's going to murder all the kids. Liquor stores are essential business. So he's going to murder all the kids in the world. But this is something that I thought about when I was watching it. He's only going to get the kids, right? Unless the commercials are running differently in different time zones, he's only going to get the kids in one time zone.
Yeah.
If it's 9:00, unless the commercials like in New York are saying, the midnight or whatever, or whichever way it would work, he's only going to get one time zone worth of kids. Yeah. If 9:00 is the overall idea.
They're in California. And they're saying 9:00, so yes, it would be midnight on the East Coast.
Right, and like exactly the big fucking murder giveaway to murder children.
Wake up, kids! Put your mask on. Wake up and put your mask on.
Jimmy,
so you can watch the fucking commercial.
Jimmy, you gotta get the big. It's the big giveaway. Yeah. It's the big giveaway. All right,
but that's not even the craziest part. And I mean, I might as well just say it now.
Yeah, say it.
So you're telling me somehow Cockring was able to smuggle a piece of Stonehenge from England,
But
and not a piece, but a giant
one of the rocks.
megalith, I don't even know what that's called.
Monolith?
But a Marmaduke, whatever they are, it's like fucking several tons. And somehow he was able, and it's like always watched, always guarded. He's just able to get one of those big ass fucking rocks.
Doesn't he explain it away by saying, "Don't even ask how I did it"? You know,
Of course. Well, of course.
That's it. Don't even
Can't
ask.
believe it worked either.
You wouldn't understand.
Well, remember, he at the very least they do address it in the movie where he says, "You would love to know how we did it. It was truly amazing." So at least they break the wall a little bit and let you know, yeah, this is fucking stupid. So we get back to what's going on in downtown Pound Town in the hotel room.
Yeah.
So he gets the goods to go in. He gives her a smooch. He leaves. He comes back. She showers. She does something that bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
She uses the towel, and then what, Lloyd? What does she do?
Then she goes into the bedroom and takes off the whole fucking comforter, blanket,
Okay.
whatever the hell it was.
So 2 reasons I got a problem with that. Right. Number 1, what are we going to sleep in? This wet fucking comforter now? And number 2, this is not your comforter. This is a motel comforter. You have at least crabs now. You at least have crabs now. I'm telling you right now.
Some form of mites, some kind of
right.
No.
You've got something living. You've got something living.
It was
in your
82,
blood.
and if you could see through that shower doors, I'm sure she already had it.
Yeah. She probably
I'd
did.
like to get a piece of that Stonehenge tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
So
I could get you a Stonehenge tonight.
hook us up, DP.
That was definitely a Walter reference from Big Lebowski. You want a toe, dude?
Yeah.
I could get you a toe tonight. That was definitely a Walter.
With nail
reference.
polish.
Or at least I read it as a Walter. I don't know. Walter Sobchak.
Well, shut your fucking mouth, Donnie.
You're out of your element.
You're out of your element. So she wraps herself up in the comforter. She's got crabs now, and he comes in and he swoops in for the. And also, she's like, Lindsay brought it up again. She's like, her father's dead. They're going to investigate this town. Yet she packs the sexiest fucking nightie on earth. Like, she immediately looked at Dr. Chalice, who, let's just be honest, Tom Atkins is a cool guy, great actor, great character actor. He's like a pockmarked, like, he's like a dude that would, like, I don't know, check your washer fluid at a gas station, like, in the middle of some fucking like gross town. And she's like, wow, I got to get some of that. So she puts like her nicest nightie on. Right. He swoops in for the kill.
She's okay that Dad's only been dead for a day. Like, Dad
is not even cold yet.
Yeah, she's fine. She's okay. She wants to investigate it, sure, but if it's not going to stop her from screwing Tom Atkins.
No.
That's clear as day.
Which begs the question: was she a droid all along?
Well, she was talking.
She was talking. She can't be.
Oh yeah,
she's talking.
Droids can't talk.
Droids
Mark Mastal says that she has huge wet motel comforter. So she has needs. Yeah, she does have needs. I guess that she needs him to fulfill those needs. Owen is down here, so I'm gonna hold off what I was gonna say because it was gross. Owen.
Hey, bud.
Have you shown this one to him yet, Larry?
Yeah, he watched it with me last night. him and Jalen both watched it with me last night. Okay, good night, buddy. Love you. All right.
23 hours. That's all it takes.
23 hours heals all wounds. So he gets some, right? And this is a scene I absolutely love. So he has sex with her, and she, after they're done, she immediately, because she's like 40 years younger than him, she's ready to go again. And here's where he pulls the scummiest move of all scummy moves, the old after sex age check. So he's already boned her with no issues whatsoever. Now she's ready for round 2, and he goes, hey, wait a minute. How old are you? This is a concept as old as time, and it's a scumball concept, and a learned doctor of the sciences has pulled it on this girl who, again, is, he's probably 45. She's easily 22 at best.
At best. At best.
And Sean said it best earlier. He's a creep. He's been creeping on her. And that scene just made me laugh. I don't know if I ever noticed that before, that he waits till after they've gone down once. So at least he can go, well, I didn't know she was 17.
Yeah. He waits till after he's been in that titty. Like, he was like in that titty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
like,
and he kind of asked it with a bit of a not a smile, but he's like, I don't care what age you say.
Yeah.
He's just asking.
He's like, I've already been in there once. Might as well go back again. So meanwhile, in the room next door, all right, Marge is getting ready for a night that she's probably used to at home too. She's
Tom Atkins' poor wife.
Yeah, Atkins' poor wife, who probably in real life is also in a room next door when he's banging a 17-year-old.
Right.
She's in her very unsexy, like, gold pajamas.
Yep.
She's gonna read.
Book.
Yeah, she's got a romance book, and she complained earlier because the Silver Shamrock logo had popped off the mask that she had brought back to get more masks. Mm-hmm. So she notices on the ground. Sean, what does she see on the ground?
Oh, that the Silver Shamrock tag with a circuitry on the back, like a
circuitry on the back, right? Yep. So she gets up on the bed, and Manster, what does she decide to do? Because she's obviously has a degree in microchip technology.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt. She takes a hairpin out of her hair and just starts jabbing and scraping at it, because that's what you do.
That's what you do.
And then
fucking lightning bolts just come right out and zap her face. And
we immediately learn, this is the first time we learn of what is kind of happening here, is that the Silver Shamrock logo on the back of every mask has a microchip on it that apparently has Death Star laser technology, because Marge pulls out the bobby pin, she jimmies with it a little bit, and right in the pie hole, she gets a fucking neutron blast from outer space. It blows her the fuck up. She falls back.
That mask, that the effects that they did on her face.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, me too. It's really good.
Real good.
Intel inside, ripped her face back. Now, I don't know if all of the masks in this were made. Who is this made by, right? Don Post, right, Larry?
Yep.
I don't know if he did the 3 masks. We haven't even talked about this yet. The ghost. I'm sorry, the witch.
Ghost.
The skull.
Like a Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Mask.
Yeah.
It's like a ghost of a guy fucking making pottery. Is that what it is?
What was the other one? The pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
So did Don Post do any of the special effects like the Marge Gutman?
No. Don Post is just a mask maker. He didn't do any. He didn't do any special effects.
Tom Atkins said he wanted someone to blast his wife in the face, but the director misunderstood.
Yep.
So she eats a fucking laser bolt, and
one lone spider crawls out,
and we just get like a spider coming out of her face, and then about 3 hours later, our loving couple is woken up by like 18 androids. I don't know why they needed 18 of these fucking guys coming to pick her up, and they're assured that back at the factory they have like the best medical care, best hospital possible.
Anytime anything bad goes down, you want to skip over the local hospital and go to the factory. Like, that's where you want to get your medical treatment.
Yeah.
At the nearest mask factory.
Yeah.
Because they always have top-notch doctors and surgeons available at the mask factory.
Sean, at any point in your childhood, did you ever like skin your knee or really hurt yourself and your parents were like, we're not going to the hospital, Sean. We're going to the fucking mask factory.
Yeah. Actually, the Woolworths was closer, so we would just go down there to the Halloween section.
Just go to the Halloween section and
rub some Robitussin on it. All good.
The old part-time woman that worked the counter would rub your arm with some Neosporin. Just like new.
Yep. And then you would get a fish to take home. Like, she would put one fish in a bag, like, for you, and that's good. That's good. That's exactly how you want to treat the woman whose face has just been blown off by a fucking laser.
Yeah.
By a laser from Stonehenge.
The Death Star in Stonehenge. So they decide that the next day they're going to go and try to take a tour of the factory. They're going to go take up old Conald Cockring on looking at the place a little bit. And what does Laura? Stu said Laura put it all together. That makes sense. Yeah, probably better doctors than the drunk ones at the hospital. Yeah. The robots can't get drunk, right? Robots cannot get drunk. So they go to the factory, and as they get to the factory, Buddy and his kid and his wife are there, and we find out, oh, you're the greatest salesperson, Buddy, and we're going to give you the full factory tour, the full tour. They're going to show you how the masks are made. They're going to show everything. But what is the one thing, Lloyd, do you remember that they are not going to show you?
The final processing.
Nope, you can't see final processing, motherfucker.
Oh, no. No, you look.
Dangerous.
Here are the list of things you could see in our facility. You can see the commissary. You could see the medical facility. By the way, great, wonderful, best medical facility in the world. You can go watch us make the masks. You can go and you can sit down with the secretary. We'll let you take calls. Okay, we'll let you take a couple calls. You want to go check out our boiler room? You could fuck around with the knobs. You're not going into final processing. All right, because as he tells Buddy, who wants to see final processing, he says, well, what is final processing? And I think, what did he say?
Little bit of this, little bit of that.
Little bit of Stonehenge up your ass. So,
yeah.
Nobody falls for it. Oh, yeah, I get it. I understand. It's okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. Are you sure? But are you sure I can't see final processing? No, not today.
As in defense, I think it does involve chemicals and just things that are
volatile.
beyond your
All
comprehension.
sorts of volatile chemicals that we want the children to breathe in. We just rub that on the inside of the masks before we ship them out.
I love how he said that.
How's my cockring impression? Is it pretty good?
It was okay. It was all right.
All right.
I do love how he says that during that scene. It's almost like we're making products entirely for children that are made with a horrifying chemical compound that, even if it didn't have Stonehenge microchips in it, would probably kill them. It's like, do you feel safe? Oh, here we go. Chris says that final processing is cock ring rubbing one out.
I'll show you final processing, you little shit.
What's
the prize today?
And what's so final about it is that I'm at the age that it takes quite a while to produce anything.
Basically dust.
It's mostly dust. The robots produce more organic matter than I do. Oh, all right. We see that final processing is on the loading dock now, and this operation is weird, right? Like someone had mentioned it before. There's there's a piece of Stonehenge inside. Of course, it's fucking weird. Well, even if you don't get to that point, there's just boxes haphazardly fucking everywhere with the Silver Shamrock logo on it. There's actual workmen, it seems like, in like overalls, but there's also the android assassins in their 3-piece suits everywhere. It's very bizarre. And final processing is up this ramp off the loading dock into what looks like this very narrow hallway. But when we eventually get into it, we find out that it's this fucking giant fucking room.
Vast fucking cavern. Like ceilings 60 feet high. Like
a piece of fucking stone.
It reminded me of when Willy Wonka went to that little door.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not squeezing me into that little door. And they go in and it's just this giant fucking, it's the same thing. Like it's just one little tight hallway to this one tiny door. And then it opens apparently into some fucking giant, like I said, ceilings are like 50, 60 feet high. There's fucking walkways up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
there's air traffic control going on up there.
Basically.
Yeah. This is a pretty big fucking place.
Final processing needs a lot of room, I guess.
Now, is this? I'm trying to remember. Watched it 2 days ago. Is this where they end up getting captured, or do they go back to the hotel one more time?
She gets captured in the hotel.
Yeah, so they have to go back because
they go back.
Yeah,
she gets captured, and then how does he get captured? Does he go looking for her? Because so when they're leaving, they see her father's shaggin' wagon in one of the docking bays being guarded by a couple of robots, and she's like, "That's my dad's car."
You want to know what happened?
Yeah,
he goes in, he's sneaking around through the facility, and he sees that one robot like knitting or something. Remember, he knocks the head off.
Yes, and
then he ends up, I think, punching somebody, and we find out that they have the same yellow goo as the Jawas and Phantasm.
Yeah,
that's when he gets captured.
And that was orange juice concentrate.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they used orange juice concentrate for the innards of the robots, and like one wire, like a D cell or a 9-volt battery wire. He pulls out. That's it. That's all they are.
Yeah. So to answer your question, they see the car, but can't get anywhere fucking near it because it's surrounded by Dick Warlock and friends. And Tom Atkins decides to go back to the hotel because he needs to make several phone calls. He's trying to call for help, but can't get anywhere. Just keeps getting fucking operators and hung up on. And I think while he's doing that is when she disappears. When he notices that she's gone. He gets
back and she's just gone.
She's just gone.
And this is the last time, spoiler alert, that we are going to see the actual Ellie, because we don't ever find out necessarily what happens to her.
Yeah.
Saturday mornings on ABC, Dick Warlock and friends. right after the snorks.
They just stand there.
Yeah. They just stand there. They're all chilling out like this.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll like grab somebody's nose and just pull it out.
Break it. Yeah. Did you I know that I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, but I forgot to mention this. Did you guys think that it seemed like they tried to film? I don't think they were trying to fool anybody, but the scenes in the hospital where they were just kind of filming behind the android and like his legs, that it was almost done like Michael Myers-y. Did you feel that way?
I didn't feel that.
Yeah, I didn't really feel that, but
I kind of got that vibe.
See where you're going.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. All right.
Sean just felt bad for you. He felt bad. He felt bad.
I like going with the underdog.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I also did want to bring up, going back to the beginning because we kind of skipped over it. The first two Halloween movies open with the jack-o'-lanterns. The one in part 2 opens up to the skull. Mm-hmm. This one starts off with the very technical
Atari 2600
pumpkin, which I read it took the guy who programmed it something like 18 days to program that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
That's
should have waited for the Apple IIe to come out 6 months later.
Yeah, 6 months later. He did it on a Commodore 63. It wasn't even a Commodore 64.
Wasn't even a 64. No. He died of dysentery while he was doing it, actually. Holy shit. So then Tom notices that she's gone, and that's when he heads back to the factory, right? And starts running around on the fucking roof.
Mm-hmm.
And gets caught. Finally ends up getting caught. I don't really remember how he gets snagged, but you can only run around on the roof of the factory so long before Dick Warlock and friends grab you and drag you to cock ring. And that's when, as any good villain does in a movie, he describes the whole plot.
He tells you the plot.
Tells him exactly, because that's what a villain has to do. A villain can't just do it. He has to tell the hero what he's doing and why, and talk about not Sam Hain, but how is it pronounced in Ireland? Samhain. Yeah, talk about Samhain and druids and how he smuggled the whole fucking Stonehenge back to England in his pocket.
So do you want to? You skipped over a couple pretty good things.
Go for it.
What do we skip over?
Yeah. Back? One being when he calls Teddy on the phone, and she says, "Oh, these aren't even car parts." And then she gets.
Yeah. She says these aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. And then she gets her earwax cleaned out
with a drill. Yeah,
with a drill.
That's right. The drill. And they didn't show it. They should have City of the Living Dead fucking showed it, but whatever.
No, they showed her legs.
Just quiver.
Her legs do the twitch.
Yeah.
The actress, I was reading up on this a little bit. The hands in the movie that actually kill her, is Tommy Lee Wallace. The take prior, when they had a stuntman do it, the drill got caught up in her hair. And like fucking almost yanked her hair out in her scalp. Man. So they had to like back it out, and Tommy Lee Wallace was like, "I'll take care of this."
Yeah. Because she was about to sue everybody.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Damn.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, and she determines.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she determines after 6 weeks that this is not a fucking. There's no bone. There's no bones in here. You know what? What, Dr. Dan? I just realized something. We haven't found any fucking bones yet, and I don't think those burn.
These are bones, but they're just gears and sprockets.
Remember how adamant Atkins was that she be the one to do the fucking autopsy?
Yeah.
Clearly, he needed her to do it because it only took a week to decipher that this was not a human body.
Yeah.
And it all came down to that one gear. Just that one gear. 2 weeks later. Wait a minute.
I like the fact,
is this from a watch?
I like the fact that she's playing with it, and then she has like to her that means anything. Like, wait a minute. This is like the head turning servo of a 7 Series Android.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's an Android.
This doesn't belong in a human at all. Yeah, let me call Tom.
What else did you have, Lloyd? What else did we miss?
And then you got the scene with the Kupfer family, with the boy sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, we didn't talk about
the Halloween mask.
Yeah. Oh, did we? Okay.
We didn't
when his face turns to pudding and snakes and locusts comes out.
This is the scene I remember vividly as a kid.
Oh yeah, of course. This is probably
this is the one that stuck with me till I saw it years later.
This is probably like that image of the kid like holding. That's probably like the Halloween 3 iconic image, right? Probably that image of the kid holding the melting mask, or him laying down with the fucking snakes coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
How did we miss it? How are we going to skip over that scene?
Yeah, we skipped right over it.
Let's get to it.
So Cockring doesn't really care that this guy is top salesman. He's going to use him as a test.
Right.
You use the family as a test. I'm guessing they've probably already tested these chips, but
yeah, because why is he testing the night of? This is shitty. This is shitty, like management. Yeah. That's bad management. Like
I'm gonna talk to like the QA people at my job and see if like how they feel about testing like 3 hours before the release comes out. Like,
yeah.
Probably not. My company's probably done that in the past, Sean. You could attest for that. Actually, I think they've tested after release, but whatever.
But this doesn't work. Pull it back.
It doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. We got to pull that back. So yeah, you would figure that they've already run some tests, and they know that the masks are going to work. But they decided
he's humble bragging to Chalice. So
is that what he's?
So so we kind of didn't go too far because, like Larry said, he monologues and tells Chalice all about Samhain, and he's essentially this like fucking 18 billion year old druid witch, and he's going to play the greatest trick of all on the kids. He's going to murder all the kids in the world.
I love a good joke.
Says?
You don't understand the true meaning of Halloween, and so that's what he is. That's his thing. He's a bad like witch warlock dude who somehow figured out robotics, and he's dealing with that. Now he's going to show Dr. Dan what is going to happen, and he uses the Cupfords because they're the closest thing that Dan has to friends. So yeah, we go into this room, and it's meant to look like a living room, except it's not. It's like, it's a steel like room. The androids lock the family in, and all of a sudden the TV turns on. It's the commercial. Bum, 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 bum. The kid puts the mask on as they tell him to do. And Sean, take it away. What begins to happen?
Well, I got to say the best line of all that before the TV goes on and everything. He goes to his wife. I don't understand why Cochran hasn't taken my order for next year yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. You're going to find out, buddy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, he's like, I don't know. He wants my opinion on the new commercial or something. So and it's playing. He's like, this is the commercial that's been running. I don't get it. Kid has the mask on. Parents are arguing. Kid obviously turns to mush. Out come the snakes and the bugs, and mother faints, and he runs for the door, gets bit by a snake or two that came out of the mask, came out of his son's head, and he's gone too, I guess. And I assume she died as well. She just kind of passed out, but
Yeah,
the snake got her or something.
Those snakes are killing crazy.
She was affected by, I guess, the strobe. I don't know.
I don't know what she
was laughing hysterically, maniacally before it happened.
Nobody tried to save their son. You do realize?
No,
they wanted out. They got out of there.
Not just that. Not just that. Not only is the son's head melt into a fucking cacophony of insects and fucking reptiles.
Yeah.
The wife might still be alive, and Big Buddy is just trying to get the
walks over her, and he's yanking on that. If he was in a bear trap, he would have chewed his fucking foot off. He would have chewed her fucking foot off.
Yeah,
he's got masks to sell. He's got things to do. Let's go.
Now let's be totally honest. Yeah,
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Where are the snakes and bugs coming from? Are they coming from
Ireland?
The mouth?
It's that druid technology.
Does the piece of Stonehenge in the mask contain like a never-ending stream of bugs? Are the bugs coming out of the kid's mouth? Are they coming from the mask?
When St. Patrick kicked all the snakes out of Ireland,
they went into
that piece of Stonehenge and out of the kids' heads.
All the snakes went into Stonehenge. St. Patrick actually chased them into Stonehenge, is where they went. And so that's what it is. The piece of Stonehenge. I don't know. I don't understand where the snakes are coming. You would figure like the thing would, and like maybe the kid's head would catch fire, or like the laser blast or something. I don't understand the snakes and bugs.
It is California, so maybe it was a coincidence that these deadly snakes and insects just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Was this filmed? Maybe this was filmed in Australia. I don't know. I do know that at different points I was reading that Tommy Lee Wallace gets asked this all the time. Like, what does this have? What do the robots have to do with Stonehenge? Have to do with druids? Have to do with the witch? And he answers it the same all the time. It's magic. It's supposed to be some kind of dark magic. Maybe the snakes and bugs were always there. Oh my God, little buddy Cufford always had a venomous boa constrictor or whatever in his head, and
he had rattlesnake.
Yeah, we're not going to forget. So So before we get to the clenching fists, let's be honest. Whether you like this movie or dislike this movie or think it's stupid that it's Halloween 3 and it doesn't have, Michael Myers in it, it's Jalen and Jen. Whether you like any of this stuff, right, or dislike it, this is a pretty hardcore movie in that it kills a little kid straight up, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no right? The best joke
ever, a joke on the children.
One of the only real victims that we see in this whole movie is a 10-year-old kid. That's pretty hardcore.
And the kills the kills are good too. We've talked about the ripping. We actually skipped over a kill. Dick Warlock rips that guy, the old drunk's head off.
Oh yeah,
he's on his knees between him in the bukkake position.
Yep, and so there's some good, and that was a good effect with the woman's with Tom Atkins' wife's face blowing up.
Yeah,
there's not a ton of gore, but the gore there is well done and pretty fucking extreme, especially for 1982. It's not just a stab wound.
Spielberg has mentioned it, and I do want to bring that up. So we have the great, probably if Tom Atkins in 1982 had an Oscar reel. I'm assuming his reel that he sent to the Academy was him watching the kid and the family die, and then the great reaction shot of his eyes shut and him just going fists up. And he's shaking. Now, he's shaking for two reasons. Number one is he just saw something awful, and he also has the DTs. Yeah, he's got the DTs really badly. Now, before we go any further into this, I do want to bring up that in the last couple of days, I did a couple of little ads for this with some of our friends sending me them doing their imitations of this scene, and I want to throw them up on the screen here. I think this should work, and then you guys could all chime in and tell me who you think who might have done it best. So here's the first one. I don't know if I can get rid of Stu's comment because that's kind of covering up. Let me see here if I can. I don't know if I can get rid of the comment.
Sure you can.
Here we go. hide. There we go. Druid wormhole.
was-
Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Druid wormhole.
Bam.
All right. So here we go. On the right, we have Tom Atkins DTing it up right there. Pint of Horrors, Halloween 3.
So
At the
much
top-
emotion. So much
At the
emotion.
top left,
Yeah.
yeah. In the top left, we got Mike Butler from Forgotten Cinema. Great podcast.
I'm gonna have to
good
say
friend of ours.
Butler is kind of a spitting image of Tom Atkins.
Butler is also an actor, so he does act in things. Joe, my friend from high school, Joe's giving it, and then Clay, a buddy of mine, is and Clay's like Clay was almost like a professional wrestler in this one. But yeah, so we got those three, and then let me get back over here, and we'll bring up the next one, and then on the next one, we Sal from Robber Barons Inc.
All right,
looks
Sal.
like a combination of he's taking a shit or in the middle of a sneeze.
Yeah.
Laura, who's on tonight, her hands are out a little bit. I don't know. She just kind of looks like she almost looks like she's mid dance move.
Yeah.
And then Melissa from Custom Skull Art.
She's gonna fight someone.
She's gonna fight someone. She's straight up like she's ready for the fight. So if you guys out there have any opinions on who you think might have done the best one, go ahead and throw it in. But oh no, I gotta get rid of this thing. I gotta figure this whole thing. There we go.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
You're a
We're back.
master. You're a master at this.
So we get now at this point, he's put into a room, he's tied to a chair, and he has a skull mask put over his head. He's going to suffer the same fate. Oh, and he's plopped right in front of a TV. Which, by the way, we see the commercial again, right? For Halloween. The original is going to be on TV. I do want to say this in all seriousness. So the music in this thing is by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. So it's not, we don't get the typical Halloween theme in this at all. But we get a couple scenes when they're showing the preview for Halloween, and when Cockring is monologuing, in the background, the music from Halloween is playing. It's kind of one of the slow parts, and I thought that was really great. Did you guys notice that was in the background?
I did.
Yep.
I thought that was done to great use. That was great effect.
Yeah, same.
Clay or Laura? Closest. So Spielberg votes Clay and Laura. So Cockring leaves him alone to go kill all the children in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He should just shoot this guy because we already proved that he's a problem. Tom Atkins, what does he do, Sean? How does he get out of his predicament?
Oh, geez. So, I mean, who knows? Magic. Let's say magic.
No, he
But,
clearly does something.
He's able to. You talk about he has the mask on and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's able to scoot over, kick the TV. That's done. Cut his hands free. Just everything had to go right, and things had to appear that didn't even exist for that to happen. And it all happens because he's Tom Atkins, and next thing you know, he's free and saving the day.
Something that didn't happen. So apparently, there's the scene where he takes the mask off and throws it on the camera.
Were his arms still tied when he did that? I think he kind of did it like.
Did he do it like
down from
backhand?
below. Yeah, it was
like,
pretty
I think his
impressive
hands were
move.
still- yeah, it was like a 1 in a million,
Yeah,
and he nailed it.
Yeah,
It
he
took
nailed
40 shots. It took 40 shots to do it, but they got it. And then we get another homage to Halloween
Right,
because you get a real brief scene of the camera and the eye holes.
Yeah.
So Lloyd, bring us from this point. He gets up and gets out, and what does he do next?
Well, I can't imagine how he did it, but he fits his body into a vent shaft. But by the way, possibly the most realistic vent removal scene that I've ever seen, because he had to work to get that thing off.
Well, and they're showing the clock. It took him like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
He has that big, like, everybody's alarm clock in the world in the middle of the room. And it was 7:47 when he gets tied up, and he doesn't get that vent open till like 8:11. So yeah, that was, at least that wasn't like bullshit. Like 7:49, he's in the vent.
Yeah. He MacGyvered that shit. So yeah, he gets in the vent, he gets out, he sneaks around, he finds Ellie just laying there on a table. Yeah. Robot Ellie. She never says a word. They escape. And then they go and basically you start the end game. They find the chips, right? And he somehow secretly reprograms the computers to start playing that.
He knew exactly what buttons
Yeah.
to push. He was just
Exactly. He just
like
right up
button,
there,
button,
boom, boom, boom.
knob.
This one
Got
here,
it.
turn this to 11. And then they skedaddled and went upstairs. Apparently, started playing the song there, the jingle, threw all the caps or all the chips down. That's when shit started happening.
Let the chips fall.
Yeah,
Chips fall where they may, and as they fall,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Death Star lasers everywhere.
It was a pretty good scene. I thought that was good. I don't know why he still had all those chips lying around when Halloween again was in like 20 minutes, like till.
Well, they had to get ready for the next time zone.
I guess, yeah, whatever. So yeah, I thought that was a good scene. But then you get Cochran gives him a little golf clap.
Yeah, a little applaud there.
And then just fucking disappears.
The bodies hit the floor.
Yeah,
he gives him that look like you did it, you son of a bitch.
He's like you. It's like you.
Get it out.
You're good. You're good.
He gives him the golf clap, but I didn't get the golf clap. Like so. Okay, so this is a good string here, right?
Yeah.
So biggest problem Patrick says is Robot Ellie helps him destroy everything. True. Yeah. That makes no sense, and he says why. But then Stu says that Robot Ellie wasn't activated until Cochrane clapped at her, which posits the theory that she had a sound clapper installed in her and clap on, and she turns on. But why would he do that? And what does Cochrane turn into before he dies? Because it's kind of a very poor effect, but he looks like he's in the Aha Take On Me video.
Yeah.
Like he's just like a drawing of himself.
Well, he disappeared. He evaporated.
He looked like he turned to ash.
He evaporated,
and then just sort of evaporated.
Yeah,
okay.
One with
so like he became kind of like transparent, which is what you're talking about. Take on me, and then just disappeared.
Hand came through and just pulled him back.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know if he went to Stonehenge. I don't know where he went.
Well, he went to whatever dimension the snakes and crickets live in. So now he's home.
He's in a land of snakes and crickets.
Yeah.
Australia. Yeah. He's in Australia.
Yeah, he's in Australia.
Clearly.
So they get away, and now the heat is on because he's got to. This is the scene. Now we talked about. I get it. It's 1982. There's only 3 major networks.
Yeah.
So he's driving like a madman to get to a phone, which this guy.
How could he not know where a phone is?
Right.
There's no way Tom Atkins doesn't know where the phones are.
And all of a sudden in the car, Sean, what happens?
That's when Ellie turns on him.
Yeah. While he's driving, she suddenly becomes she just starts jumping on him. They end up hitting a tree. They end up out of the car. Her arm comes off. And how does he end up finally dispatching this robot? I'm trying to remember.
He had a crowbar. He starts backhand. Good back.
Knocked her head off.
He had a solid backhand with the crowbar. And, and basically alien-like, very alien-like when what's his name's head?
Ash, yeah.
When Ash's head came off, yeah. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But she didn't stop though. Like I remember the fucking severed arm tried to choke him, and
severed arm tries to choke him.
Yeah,
the arm that was on the door. Yeah,
I was convinced that he was going to keep her head for personal use after this was all over. He's like, well, why waste some good dick sucking lips?
Yeah, what does everybody want? Head.
Bring it back to his other girls as a present, like a trophy.
Yeah. Hey, look at this. Look what I got.
Hey, kids, look what I brought back.
Yeah, you might have those fucking Don Post masks, but I brought back a fucking android skull. So then he runs to the gas station, right?
The same one.
Yeah, which is probably like 100 miles away, but he runs there in like 10 minutes, all good. Same one, same guys working. And
hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
Yeah, he did say that, right? And he doesn't even answer. He's like, "Give me the fucking phone."
Where's your phone?
You're watching Halloween, of course, because Halloween's now on.
Yeah.
He gets the phone and he knows the number to the TV station apparently that that controls all 3 channels.
Yeah, because there's one guy that controls it all.
What?
One guy controls all 3 channels.
And he's located on the West Coast, of course.
On the West Coast, yeah.
He is on the West Coast, local call, so no long distance. And he gets them to shut down channels 1 and 2, but we don't know. We don't know if he shut down channel 3.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. For the love of Christ, shut it down. So this is simultaneously in my head.
Yep.
Like you said before, Larry, whether you like this movie or not, there's some stuff you could take with a real grain of salt.
Oh,
and the whole idea of him being able to call some guy and the guy shutting 2 stations down based how many phone calls do they get a night from some nut job saying Jesus told me to tell you to shut this off, So, but for Dr. Daniel Chalice, they're going to do it. It's simultaneously, it is the children, but it's simultaneously a great ending. I mean, the ending is great with him, screaming into the phone. It's super memorable, but it's also the setup is all very kind of wonky. The other thing that I thought was ridiculous was I'll go to Sean for this. Sean, when you were a kid and you weren't at a Walgreens or at a Woolworths getting Robitussin rubbed on your arm, did your parents on Halloween night bring you to the gas station?
God, no.
Yes, they did, you lying sack. What good parents don't bring their children to the gas station at 9:00 at night?
Now, Shawnee Mac, we're not done trick or treat until we go down to the gas station and get you some Reese's peanut butter cups.
But it's not like just the local gas. It's the deserted one off the dirt highway,
right?
20 miles from civilization. That's
right.
the one you want to trick or treat at,
right next to the junkyard.
And not just that, but like Daniel Chalice is so concerned about saving, and I get it. He's trying to save possibly millions of kids. The 3 in front of him, he could just take. He does nothing.
The mask off. Just take the mask off.
Just take the mask off. Smash the TV. He does none of that.
No.
He does none of that.
He's on the phone. He's right here. Look, I'm on the phone. I have another hand. I can just take these masks off these kids. These kids can't overpower me. I'm just gonna take the fucking mask off.
Yeah, he must have been. He was curious. He wanted to see if it was going to happen.
Probably.
Well, I guess maybe. I guess he was. Maybe all 3 channels have to be on for it to happen, and one won't. Maybe one will just kind of make them a little slower than they are now. Right. It didn't melt their head, but now they just don't have a full vocabulary anymore. Yeah. Right. Patrick says his parents brought him to the gas station every Halloween for a rousing game of "Find Your Way Home, Kid."
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah. So this is Halloween 3.
Yeah. So we end, but I think it's important to note that the original ending, it ended the same, but you just heard the screams of children as the credits started. Like you heard supposedly the screams of children across the world, or the country, or northern fucking California. I don't know. Letting you know that it didn't work, and all these kids basically have fucking snakes coming out of their mouths straight from Ireland, or Australia. But I guess I don't know if it tested poorly because they still the producers didn't like it. They changed it.
They probably wanted to keep it vague just in case they can build off of this and do another one maybe.
They changed it and took out the screaming. So Tom Atkins always tells people when he's asked that he feels like his character saved all the children in the world. That's how he takes it. Sean's like, no. Sean,
whatever helps him sleep at night. Kids are dead.
I wish we had this before we had Tom Atkins at Horror Fest a couple years ago, because then we could have been like, listen, dude, we talked about this, and you're wrong. Those kids fucking died.
The novelization ends with the kids dying. Right. The novelization of the movie is based on the screenplay, I guess, and it ends with all the kids in the world head exploding into a fucking a reptile explosion.
A reptile explosion?
Yeah, a reptile explosion. Yeah.
That's Tom Atkins in a nutshell right there.
Fucking nasty.
Reptile explosion.
That's just nasty. Tom Atkins made me buy him hangers. Do you know that?
No.
Sean, do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
So at Horror Fest, he gets there and he wants to put some of his shirts out so people can buy them. He's got what his shirts were cool. Like it was just like Tom Atkins rules or whatever. I don't know. But yes, I am weird, I think one said. But he's like, hey, kid. He just kept calling me kid. Hey, kid, I need some hangers. And I was just like, I don't have any hangers on me.
Hold on.
I didn't. All the stuff that I brought to set today up, hangers wasn't one of them. He's like, well, I need you to get me hangers. I had to go to another vendor and buy hangers from my own fucking pocket to give to Tom Atkins so he would be happy and be able to hang up his fucking shirts.
I think what we all really want to know, Larry,
Yeah,
is did he try to bang you?
he did not. He did
Okay.
not. I've had
Were you
instances.
disappointed in that?
I am a little disappointed. I am a little disappointed.
Hey,
Could have at least tried.
Hey, kid, should I sleep in the car, kid? And Larry's like, where do you want to sleep? And
Where
he's
do you
like,
wanna
I
sleep,
think
Tom?
you fucking know.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
live up in your guts.
No, this is a rewind, but do you remember the scene where Tom Atkins gets into the fight with Dick Warlock? And Dick Warlock's like the strong robot, but he can't take a punch in the gut from Tom Atkins.
No, he goes right in.
One sock in the gut.
Right
It's
in.
like, bleh, just jelly.
Yeah, this robot technology is not the best.
No.
His magic is strong enough to kill every kid on Earth,
Yeah.
but his robots are very they're
Yeah,
very weak.
They're very thin in the belly.
These robots would not have lasted with Rocky Balboa because Balboa, he went to the body like nobody's like since Marciano.
Yeah.
Like go to get into the
body
body,
rock.
kid.
The body rock, the body.
They did not go through final processing. That was their problem.
That's
That might
probably
be
the
it.
problem. That might
There's
be it.
all kinds of toxic chemicals and other bullshit. I assure you, it's dangerous.
Hey Mick, but these didn't go through final processing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
hey.
Hey, my
Alright.
final processing's outside.
condominiums? I never use them.
We was supposed to be like final processing. All right, we've drifted into a whole world of Stallone impressions.
Hold on, one more. Hey, Rock. I heard you took your date to final processing. Yeah, I did. Yeah, retards love final processing.
Oh, you're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, we use that. Hey, that's a quote from the movie. That's a
Yeah.
quote from the movie. All right, so that was Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and I do want to, Larry. I wanted to bring up a couple things I noticed in the background. I wanted to know if there was anything before I say them that you noticed. I know you love to watch the backgrounds of things. So, what were some of the things, some of the maybe connections or other things they said or showed in this that were connected to the horror world?
I don't think anything really stuck out for me.
I have two.
What do you got? Go.
When they were-
Other than of course the town being the same
Santa
as a
Mara.
nation of body snatchers.
I noticed one, but John.
Sean, Sean, what'd you get?
So in the town, I forgot if it was a bank or what, but there's something called Landis
Yes,
Bank or Landis.
Oh shit!
Landis Department Store.
Yes, Landis Department Store. That's it.
The
Oh,
only
sweet.
other one that I really noticed myself was in the beginning when Chalice is first getting to the hospital and talking to the older nurse that he's gonna fucking do at some point in his career. She mentions Dr. Castle and
Okay.
the
Nick
Castle. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
That was pretty much it, other than the Santa Mira thing.
Yep.
So now is the time in Sprockets when we dance. So this is where we go amongst the four of us and we assign ratings 0 to 5 scale. Quarter scale is obviously usable. And Larry, you always choose what the little scale is going to be based on. What is it going to be this time?
I think it's bits of Stonehenge.
All right. Bits of Stonehenge. So
On a
let's
scale
start.
of 1 through 5 bits of Stonehenge.
Bits of Stonehenge. All right. I am really curious about Sean because I think Sean. I think
Patrick. Oh,
avoid the kitty helicopter ride in front of Landis Department Store. Yeah.
Poor Vic Morrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not set up properly. It's not set up properly at all.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, Patrick feels bad for this one. No, you don't.
No, you don't. You
No,
liar.
you don't.
You don't
You
feel bad
liar.
at all. You shouldn't. You
All right.
shouldn't.
Real quick, again, I just want to point everybody out. to horrornewsnetwork.net. That's where you can find Shawnee Mac and Larry, their articles, all their good stuff. It is a great website. If you don't go there, you should. And if you anybody watching this, it's going to be a year from now, and hopefully we're out of this shit. But we would love to see you at CT Horror Fest, which I'm not sure if they've even talked about it yet, but it's generally in September. That is the con.
There's a date. There's a date, right, Sean?
Is there a date?
Yes,
There is. There is a
date. Let me. There is a date. God damn it.
16th.
Is Christine and Rob still on? They were on earlier.
Yeah, Christine, you there? Christine?
Are you there? Hello. I think it's the 18th. It might be September 18th.
It's that weekend. Yeah, whatever that Saturday is.
Yeah.
Well, look, here's the perfect time. If you're watching this right now, you can't hit us with I have to wash my hair that night, because we're telling you a year ahead of time. So make sure to get your tickets. And Pint of Comics is always hanging out there. We usually have a table. We can hang out. It'll be a good time. So and actually one more thing before we get into, Curse Films talked about the horrible thing that Patrick made fun of. And it was very good. No, you're not an asshole, Patrick. We're kidding.
No, not at all. Yeah, I was right. It is September 18th next year.
September 18th of 2021. So we look forward to that very much. If you are watching this, obviously it's Halloween week. At the end of this week, our podcast is going to be with Stu, who is on the show. And this one's going to make Larry very angry. We have a series called Trash, Tolerable, or Treasure, where we assign a movie that everybody seems to hate. We watch it, and then we decide whether it is trash, tolerable, or a treasure. And Lloyd, myself, and Stu discussed the 2009 sequel, remake of a sequel, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So that will be on the podcast this week.
Bye, Larry.
Larry quit. Larry's gone. But we would love for you guys to listen to that. So when that comes out, give that a listen. All right. So let's Lloyd does, Lou. Let's go to Sean first, because I'm getting a sense that Sean hates this movie. I'm getting a sense it's not in Sean's list of favorite movies. But what do you got, Sean, on a bits of Stonehenge scale, 0 to 5? What do you give to 1982's Halloween 3?
I will say, 10 years ago, I would have been much more harsh on this movie. It has grown on me a bit. It would have been like a half or a 1,
Whoa!
In 2010. But hey, it's moved up. It's got a rocket on it. It's up to 2.5 bits of Stonehenge.
2.5 bits of Stonehenge. All right. What do we have, Manster? What do you got?
Yeah, it's grown on me in the 2 times I've seen it. I think I'm going to give it 3. Yeah, 3. I don't hate this movie. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's funny. It's fun to watch. I'm not going to watch it again anytime soon, but I'll give it 3.
All right. If you're on the comments here, give us your rating too. We do that with the Friday the 13th stuff. I want to know what you guys think of Halloween 3. Larry's reading his Jaws 5 novelization. We'll get to him next. I'll go before Larry. Larry will be last. Mark Mustal gives it a 3.5. And Lindsay wants to know, can you play the countdown music at the end of the show? I want to see Larry dance again. It's a treat. It's a treat. Lou, who's never seen the movie, and he gives it a 69. I think that's a
solid score.
That's Tom Atkins' score right there.
Yeah,
that's Tom Atkins. Chris gives it a 3.5.
A lot of 3.5s.
Let's see. Stu gives it a 2.0, but Stu also really likes part 6, I think, or part 5, and that is a fucking dumpster fire.
Oh God.
Holly 2.5. LG goes with a 3, and we have Patrick 3.5. All right, so I am going to go with a 3.25. I give it a 3.25. This is Laura gives it a 3.5. This thing's doing pretty well.
Yeah,
pretty well. I go 3.25. I give this all the credit in the world for being very original. It's like it's Irish magic and robots, and yes, there's a lot of stuff that lasers and this thing is fucking crazy. John 4.0. John goes all the way to 4.
Woo!
So we have a 3, we have a 2, and what'd you say, Sean? 2.25? 2.5?
It's 2.5.
2.5, a 3.25 for me. Let's finish off with the man the show's named after, Scary Larry. What do you give it?
So now, if I had been doing this rating in late October of 1982, after my father dragged me screaming and crying out of the movie theater, it would have gotten a solid 0, because there was a deep hatred. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I held that hatred in me until the late 80s. So you're talking 8 years before some vendor at a convention convinced me to give it another shot. And I did, and realized that as a standalone film, it's pretty damn good. Plot holes? Yep. Yeah, they're all over the place. It doesn't really make very much sense at all.
Right.
But there's some great performances here. Atkins is always fun, as creepy as he is. That's his game. That's who he is. I thought that Stacy Nelkin was great. Cockring was fantastic. And it holds up for me. Lloyd said that he won't watch it again anytime soon. I find myself watching it several times a year. I do. I've got shirt. I've got some socks. I'm a fan, man. And Laura's right. The plot holes add to the charm. For me, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is 4 pieces of Stonehenge.
Wow, 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want
Sean almost fell over. Sean's leaving.
He's
Sean, yeah.
Sean's gonna take down the picture of me behind him.
It's over.
Peel it off.
No, now it's staying up.
So I want to bring something up too, real quick. It's kind of a promo for another show, and also it calls on to something that you guys said during the show. So Sean and Larry were on another podcast this week or last week, Nerds in a Bar, and I listened to it the other day, and it's all about their favorite monster movies. So go check that out. During it, there's some toy talk, and I wanted to bring this up to Sean because this now has me totally puzzled because I didn't think about it the day of. So about a month ago, I was in a Target and I saw the Season of the Witch NECA 3-piece figures, which I guess is hard to find.
You should have picked it up.
I took a picture for Larry and I said, "Do you want me to grab this for you? The box is a little dinged up." And he said no. But then I listened to you guys on the show and he goes on proudly about how he's an out-of-the-box collector. And I cannot figure out now why he gave a shit about that box.
That's a question for Larry, because I'll be honest, it breaks my heart when he opens these things in front of me. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Larry, I can't find that set, that NECA set anywhere.
I had it in my fat little hand. I had it right there. Took a picture of it. I think I sent it to him and he said, "No, now I've got to ask." Yeah, it goes for $100 now minimum. Yeah. So, and it was like $30. So Larry, now that I think about it, after hearing, I knew you were out of the box, but I didn't think about it that day. What was the holdup? What were you worried about? Do you keep the box separately, like in like nice condition?
Always.
That's what it is. Okay. All right.
Yep.
But once it's out of the box, it doesn't matter. It's you let it breathe. It's forever tainted.
But there are some things. Even I like to taunt Sean with my openings of things, but there are some things that I don't take out. I haven't taken out my They Live. I've got a good amount of stuff that I haven't opened, and that would have been one that I didn't open, and that's the reason I told you, just because since you found it there, I figured it was at every Target. That same day, I had Jen go to Ansonia Target, and I was like, "Pick this up for me when you see it." No dice. I fucking went to Trumbull, no dice. And again, now it's like $100 on Amazon.
I look at 4 or 5 Targets a week. I can't find it.
Yeah, well, it's gone now. Now you're only gonna find it. You're only gonna find it on fucking eBay for $100 now. So I kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Oh, look at this. Holly mentions tomorrow night, Tiffany Shepis is participating in a live drunken script reading of Halloween 3 for a benefit, streaming on YouTube. That might be worth checking out.
Yes.
And you know what? You will not notice in whoever's performing as Chalice because he's already drunk throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, he should be sober. Whoever's doing Chalice should be sober, just to be different.
Yeah. All right, guys. Lloyd, obviously, you and me, Pint of Comics. These guys down here. These guys down here, Shawnee Mac and Scary Larry. Thank you, per usual, for coming on. And if anybody watched this, or this will be on YouTube, this will not be an audio episode of the podcast. So if you're here, you got to see it, you got to hear it. Otherwise, if
like
you know, what's that?
It's like they're the Patreons.
Yeah. But we don't charge you for anything because you probably wouldn't pay for it anyway. But yeah, this has been fun. And in a few weeks, we'll be back at it with our Friday the 13th series and a whole bunch of great episodes of the podcast coming out this week. Right now, the episode from last week is still out. We talked about 1917. This week coming up, Halloween 2, and I'm going to make Larry listen to it because, I just want to know. I want to know what he says. So thank you so much. This has been Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors, and happy Halloween. What is it? 4 more days? 4 more days till
Halloween.
4 more days till Halloween. Silver Shamrock.